What's up, guys? This is Dante from the Crushing My Diabetes private Facebook group. If you guys don't know about this, my dad and I, if you guys didn't watch the big, huge, long hour-and-a-half video talking about my dad's story and how he eliminated a ungodly amount of his diabetes symptoms and drastically transformed his life and is just thriving now. We recorded his entire story, how he did it. So if someone was to duplicate, to see what we did, what we talked about, and then do that for themselves, they totally could. We can't actually tell you to do that because that's illegal. It's illegal in the United States to say that we can cure diabetes unless you go through an FDA drug process, which involves a crap ton of money, and just, yeah, they make it very, very difficult for you to share this information freely. So all the videos you're ever going to watch from us, they're always going to be filtered through, this is what we're doing. And we can't have that other part of it being like, so here's how you do it, or here's what you should do. It's never going to be you. It's always going to be, this is what we're doing, this is what we're going to share to the world. And if somebody chooses to do something with the information, that's totally up to them. So I just want to preface this video with that. I think it's very, very important so we don't get, like sued or thrown in jail. But still, where we can allow, we're talk about it in a way that allows us to share the information still, because I think it's very, very valuable. It's just extremely helpful information. The topic I want to talk about today is body awareness. Before I initially used this information to transform my life, I was eating very, very crappy food. Fast food, cupcakes. I would routinely, when I was much, much younger, I would come, like high school, I would come home and I would eat a gigantic bowl of fruit, like Fruity Pebbles. Let's get Fruit Loops for a second. I'd eat a gigantic bowl of Fruity Pebbles, 2 corn dogs, 2 Coca-Cola cans, and whatever was for dinner, which was usually like lasagna or like a big thing of meat. And I would eat that every single day. And then I would throw in, moon pies, Twinkies, cookies, cake, chocolate, more soda, Pop Rocks, candy. Oh, so much candy. And when I would eat this food, back then, I was very unconscious about it. Like, I would have to like have a genie magically appear and ask me like, how do you feel right now? For me to go like, okay, let me stop, take stock of what is happening in my body, then give you some of that information. I wasn't aware of it. And unless someone like a genie appeared and asked me that, I was never aware of it. I wouldn't be aware of it. It was just very unconscious. I was just eating. I was like, oh, that looks good. That tastes good. Yeah. That's all the awareness I had. Then once I heard my dad's story, heard what happened to him, and if you want to hear that, in detail story, go check out the first video on the channel, and it has a whole thing in it. When I first heard a story and he shared this information with me, I shifted my diet and I started eating, more along the lines of fruits and vegetables, and that was that. But over time, what I noticed was I was able to pick up on the sensations in my body, and my current POV on this point of view is that because I stopped eating all this crappy food, this processed food that our body is not designed to eat, this food that causes you to have brain fog, fatigue, exhaustion, depression, headaches, inflammation, all this bad stuff in your body. When I started eating fruits and vegetables, primarily, that it took away a lot of these symptoms because the food replenishes you, the food heals you, the food is meant for your body. It's exactly what your body needs, and it's getting all the nutrients from it. Whereas with the processed food, it's not getting the nutrients, so you keep craving it more and more and more, and you're stuck in this vicious cycle. And I was suddenly aware. I'm like, wow, wait a minute. Once all that stuff left, all that crappy feeling, all that fatigue and exhaustion and inflammation, depression, when that gradually left and was replaced by this feeling of energy and rejuvenation and power, I suddenly was more aware of how I was feeling, because it was like all the previous feelings of fatigue and all that was so like blinding. When that was finally gone, I could like, see again. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. That's not how we're supposed to feel. I kind of screwed up my glasses there. We're supposed to feel like we have lots of energy and we can go do a bunch of stuff. That's how we're supposed to feel? Holy crap. And I want to talk about this because I think it's just like a crazy cool experience when someone chooses to start eating fruits and vegetables, especially when that person has diabetes like my dad did. I think normal people, meaning the normal way we've been conditioned by society to eat processed foods, the whole food pyramid thing, which was horrible, and we haven't been taught like fruits and vegetables is what we're supposed to eat, and it's what we're designed to eat, and it's what's going to give us the most energy and most healing effect and power and control over our bodies. When they are conditioned to eat that way, normal people, they just have that stuff running in the background, that fatigue, exhaustion, depression, headaches, just crappy, lack of apathy, don't want to do anything, just want to lay in bed. That's the norm. But then when you get diabetes, that becomes amplified because now you're like, crap, I can't eat, this, and this food. Now I'm getting nerve damage. I have to take my blood. I have to buy all this like medication. I have to buy strips, all this equipment. It's a drastic financial drain. I don't think this gets talked about enough, and I don't really. It's funny because my dad, once he discovers the information, he quickly got away from having to pay lots of money for strips and insulin and blah 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 blah, all the expenses in that laundry list when you have diabetes. So I don't think he actually got the main effect from that, but I would imagine, thinking about it, people who have diabetes having that financial strain of like having to pay all this extra stuff, that's not very nice. I just recently got a car, 2015 Prius, because I'm young and first time driver and all that, my insurance rates are very expensive and my car payments are very, very high. That is not really conducive to happy feelings in me. I have to like put in more work. It's putting a lot of strain, a lot of stress. I'm having to put myself in an elevated state in order to meet those payments so I can continue operating at my current level of, existence in life. So I'd imagine if someone has diabetes, they're having to pay that extra amount of money, combined with the added symptoms of like nerve damage, all the effects that comes with having high blood sugar. It's just bad news. And it takes something that's bad, like what the normal society is used to, and then just amplifies that to make it so much worse. And I found it very, very fascinating when I started using this information that my dad talked about, that I suddenly got this body awareness, and all that crappy feelings, all those feelings were gone and replaced by like just a feeling of normal, like normalcy, but also energy and like happiness. And I felt myself in like good mood. You ever like have a day where you're in a good mood? You're just like, yeah, life's gonna be all right. I found myself in that state much more consistently and to greater degrees once I started eating fruits and vegetables. It's crazy. You eat like a McMuffin and you're comatose for like an hour. You're just like zombied out. You eat some watermelon. It tastes delicious, first of all. Watermelon's amazing, or bananas, or peaches, or apricots, plums. There's so many different fruits that taste so delicious and are so great for you, and then afterwards when you eat them, you're like full of energy. You're just like, that was good, man. That was delicious. And you're just kind of like going off and doing your thing. And same thing with cucumbers, spinach. The vegetables. The cool thing about this, and what my dad talks about, is that it's mainly centered around fruits, like 80% fruits, 20% vegetables. Fruit is delicious. Vegetables, less so. I'm not a vegetarian, vegetable advocate. I believe in the power it has to increase your health and make you healthy. No question. Like 100% does that. But obviously there's a taste difference from fruit and vegetables. They're two separate camps. But like when you eat the vegetables, the initial taste is very dull, right? But afterwards, you still have that effect of like increased energy, and it's similar to when you eat the fruit, but it's more, it's a little more clear, I guess. But it doesn't taste as good up front. So the long-term effect after you eat it is a little bit higher, I think. But although you get that long-term, like a little bit more long-term effect of like energy and happiness after you eat vegetables, in exchange for like the upfront and not really tasting that well, fruit does the same thing, and it's amazingly delicious. And yeah, So that's what I want to talk about in this video. The body awareness when you stop eating, when someone stops eating, not telling you to stop eating this food. Can't tell you that, it's illegal. But when someone does, from my experience, personal experience, and from what my dad talks about, you find yourself much more happy. You find yourself able to, it's weird, this is going to sound a little crazy, but I can tell, I can feel when I'm about to get sick. And it doesn't happen very, very often. I don't really get sick anymore. But when I am about to, I can feel it, like coming on, whether it be like a sore throat or just like a cold or whatever. I can kind of feel it coming like a day before or that day. And then I'll just kind of stop, relax, lay down in bed, watch a movie, eat some fruit, maybe I'll even fast that day, and I'll move away from that cold. And it's the craziest thing in the world. Whereas before, it was just kind of like being in a thunderstorm, like within the storm, like a storm, like, oh, there's stuff blowing around, it's freaking crazy. That's how it felt internally. Like, I didn't know how I was feeling. It's just like stuff's happening. I'm not aware of it. I'm just like, blah, 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 like not even in control of myself. And like in that storm, a piece of, like a can would hit me in the head, and that would be like, you know, in my body, that would be like getting sick. Like, oh, cold hit me. Then I'm like, oh, now I'm cold. Like, and I remember just finding myself like extremely sick, like sometimes vomiting, sometimes just being like just not feeling good at all, just feeling like crap. And you're just going like, oh, this sucks so much. What? Make it stop. And it's just suffering. It's just like pain and suffering, and it just sucks. And once I shifted to eating fruits and vegetables, and mainly fruits, that went away. And I was no longer feeling myself in those states anymore. And I felt myself just in a consistent state of just like just fine, but also good. Abundant amount of energy. And that became my default, like being able to do stuff, be able to go talk to people, being able to go start things, being able to like film the video or, you know, go work out. Stuff that was so outside my reality because I was in this like mental haze, this mental fog. Suddenly I was just able to do. I was just like, yeah, I think I'll do that. And then I went and did it. And it's crazy. And that comes from like a body awareness. It comes from not having all this cloud, you know, weighing down on you. And I just wanted to talk about that and share that with you. I think it's a fascinating topic. I think it's fascinating information. I think it's a cool experience to go through when you have come from this place of eating the processed foods, the crappy foods. And it's just, you're constantly sick all the time, you don't feel good, you just feel like apathetic, you don't want to do anything, not really motivated, you don't feel like you have control of your life, it's just like, and then moving toward a place of feeling empowered, feeling like you have control, feeling like, you know, not feeling like, but also just having more energy, being happier, having more just ability to do the things you want. It's crazy. So I want to talk about that in this video here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you. If you haven't already, go join the private membership group. The link will be posted below. If this is on YouTube, if it's not on YouTube and I'm uploading it straight to the group, well, disregard that last bit. Thank you guys for watching. It means the world, and I'll see you in the next video.